All right, so here's the answers for the practice quiz. And again, if you just want to look at the answers, they're off to the side. But if you want to see how I do my work, go ahead and pay attention, and I'll go through this as quick as possible for you. All right. So on the first one there, we have 5 minus 8 plus in brackets. And remember, brackets are just like parentheses. 5 times 3 squared minus 5 squared. The 3 squared minus 5 squared is in the innermost parentheses. So you're going to use the innermost parentheses and work your way out. So on that one there, you can go ahead and we can go ahead and do the one on the outside here. So 5 minus 8 is negative 3. On the other one in the brackets, I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first. So 3 squared is 9 minus 5 squared. That would be 25. And then we're going to finish off the bracket. The negative 3 can stay there. Now we have the 5 and 9 minus 25 is negative 16. And now I have 5 times negative 16. That's still in parentheses there. So we are going to get that to be negative 80. And then, excuse me, negative 3 plus a negative 80 is negative 83. On the second one there, again, I'm going to do the parentheses. And remember, we have to do the multiplication first in the parentheses and then the subtraction. So I'll have 8 times 12 minus 4, 24, excuse me. And then on the bottom, we can go ahead and do the 2 cubed because remember, the fraction bar, that fraction bar there acts like parentheses too. So the bottom you can think has parentheses too. So 2 cubed would be 8. So 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 minus 32. So on the top we'll have 8 and we'll have 12 minus 24, which is negative 12. And on the bottom, we'll have 8 minus 32 is negative 24. Now, some of you would have said, can I get rid of the 8s right here? And I would have told you no, because again, we can't, just because one's on the top and one's on the bottom doesn't mean anything. If they were both being multiplied, then yes, I could do that. But I can't do that because on the bottom one there, I do have it separate. I do have a negative attached to the 8, so 8 minus 32. So some people will make that error. Just remember, I just told you, don't make that error. So on here now, we can go ahead and divide because I know negative 12 and negative 24 will reduce. So I'm going to go and switch my colors on that. So negative 12 becomes a negative 1. Or 1, and negative divided by negative is a positive, so then we'll have 2 on the bottom. So now I have 8 divided by 2. And again, that will equal 4. Okay. On the next one, again, we're just following our orders of operation. So we're going to do 45 minus, we're going to do what's in the parentheses, 8. And then, of course, after that, we can do the, well, here, I'll go step by step for you. Okay, next we're going to do the multiplication. So I'll have 45 still minus 8. 12 times 2 is minus 24. All right, and now we're going to do our subtraction in order from left to right. So I'm going to do 45 minus 8, which is 37, minus 24. And then I have 37 minus 24, which is 13. On the next one, we have 12. Again, we see we have 36 divided by 12, so that's the division. We have to do that before our addition and subtraction. So on that, we would have 36 divided by 12. That is equal to 3 minus 4. 12 minus 3 is 9, minus 4, 9 minus 4, that's 5. All right, on E there, I did have a student question this, but again, multiplication and division, I kind of showed you up here. Multiplication, division goes in order from left to right. If division comes before multiplication, do that first. If multiplication comes and then division, then another multiplication, again, you still have to do it in order from left to right. So on this one right here, we're going to do in order from left to right. So we're going to have 15, and then we're going to divide that by 5 times 2 plus 1. I'm going to do, again, in order from left to right, so I'm doing the division. 15 divided by 5 is 3, so I have 3 times 2 plus 1. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1, and our answer then would be 7. On the next one, a bracket again. I just told you earlier, brackets are just parentheses. All right, so I'm going to take and I'm going to do the 5 squared, which is 25. And then I see I have multiplication, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. 2 times 3 is 6. So now I have 7 minus what's in parentheses, 25 minus 6, which is 19. And then 7 minus 19, remember, signs are different. You're going to subtract. 19 minus 7 is 12. Take the sign of the larger number, which is negative. All right. On 2a, 23 minus 18. Well, 23 minus 18 is 5. Again, so we have 5b there. When the signs are the same, again, I add them and bring over the sign. So 19 plus 7 is 26. Again, I have d here. Oh, that one doesn't look good. Let me re-erase that and make it nicer. And then we have d. And again, both of them are negative, so I bring the sign. Okay. On C, all right, I always say two negatives not separated by a number become a positive. So I have negative 7x plus 18x. And again, same rules. The signs are different. Subtract the smallest from the largest. 18 minus 7 is 11. And take the sign of the larger number. The larger number is 18, so it's positive. So our answer is 11x. Same thing on the next one. 15 minus 6 is 9. And the sign of the larger number is positive. Okay, so now to evaluate, ladies and gentlemen, that means we're going to plug in what's there and we're going to find our answer. Okay, so we're going to say on the first one, I'm going to plug in negative 5 for A plus 12. Subtract the smallest from the largest, take the sign of the larger number, it equals 7. On the next one, negative 2, that's what B is, minus 8. So negative 2 minus 8, the signs are the same. Add, bring down the sign. 2 plus 8 is 10, so I'll have negative 10. On the next one, when I multiply, again, parentheses means multiplication, and sometimes it's easier to see it. So I have 2 times negative 5 minus, we have parentheses there, 4 times negative 2 minus 3. Okay. Again, doing inside the parentheses, I have 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. So I have negative 8 minus 3 in those parentheses, minus, and then on the first one, I have 2 times negative 5, which I can write as negative 10. So I have negative 10 minus a negative 11. Remember what I just said earlier. Two negatives not separated by a number become a positive. So negative 10 plus 11 will equal a positive 1. On the next one, again, it's a fraction bar, so treat it like that. So I'm going to say 3 times 3 minus a negative 5 Okay, notice how I put it in parentheses because I have a negative and a negative there. So kind of remember stuff like that. And then I have 5 times 3 on the bottom. On the top, now I'll have 9. Again, what did I just tell you? That becomes a plus. So I have 9 plus 5. On the bottom, I have 15. 9 plus 5 is equal to 14. So we have 14 over 15. On number 4 here, again, let me see. I kind of told you to do this, all right? A couple of you kept asking, and you kept confusing it. So just bring out the 5 and the 3. When you bring out the 5 and the 3, now I'm going to go on each term. So if I'm just looking at this one right here, what one is going to go away because you treat this like a fraction over 1? What one is going to go away on this here because I'm going to use the top there. So if you notice, both the 5s are going to go away. When the 5s go away, we have 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, so we're going to have 9m. Okay, think about it on the other one there too. So we're going to look at this one here. One is on the top and on the bottom. It's the 3. So the 3 is going to go away. And what's left? The 5 and the 7. We're going to multiply those together. And we will get plus, excuse me, 35. And then finally, on the final one there, we don't have anything on the bottom. We don't have a 5 or a 3 on the bottom. So we take those and multiply them together. That's 15. And we're going to multiply it to the 2. 15 times 2 is equal to 30. And now we solve that from there. Okay, I'm going to subtract 35 on both sides. Again, I'm using my brain here, people. So 30 minus 35 is negative 5. And now to get m by itself, I have 9 times m. To undo it, I divide. So I'll have m is equal to negative 5 over 9. All right? Should have put the harder one, the second one, but again, we're going to still do the same thing. I'm going to multiply everything here. I don't like fractions, so I'm going to get rid of them by multiplying what's on the bottom. On this one here, it's only 4. So that one will work. So 4 times negative 10 is negative 40. Again, on this one here, the 4's go away. All right. Since the 4's go away, I just use what's on top, which is 1. But again, we don't ever write 1 times something because it's the something. So we're going to say m minus m4 times negative 5. Again, would be 20. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides. And you'll find that m is equal to negative 20. On C here, all right, let's see here. Like I said, I like to keep stuff positive if I can. So I'm going to take that negative 5 and move it over to the other side. I can do that. It doesn't matter what side I put it on, so that'll become positive. So I'll go ahead and tell you now I have 2 is equal to negative 12. 5n plus 2n is 7n. Okay, now I'm going to take that negative 12, I'm going to move it to the other side of the equal sign. It becomes positive. So I have 12 plus 2. So on that one there, I'm going to get 7n is equal to 14. Okay, and now I'm going to divide by 7. And then I can flip it, n is equal to 2. On D here, same kind of thing. Let's say I'm going to move that 6y over, so that'll give me 9y. And then I'm going to move that 2 over to the other side. Look, I'm doing it all in one step this time, right? So 9 plus 2, that is going to equal 11. So I can write it like that. That's good. And now to get y by itself, I'm going to divide by 9. So I'll get y is equal to 11 ninths. On E, again, let's go ahead and distribute first. So remember, distribute through the parentheses. That means I'm going to multiply every term. Remember, a term is something that is separated by a plus or a minus. So in that parentheses there, we have two terms. So I'm going to take 4 times 2, which will give me 8m, and then 4 times the negative 12, which would give me negative 48. And then on the one side, I still have negative 30. Okay. So again, we're going to move that negative 48 over to the other side. So it's going to become positive. Negative 30 plus 48 is equal to 18. To get m by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1, right? And then I'll have 18 over 8. And remember, I told you on this here, you have to reduce a fraction if possible. On this one right here, you can, because again, if you think about it, the top is 9 times 2. And the bottom is 4 times 2. So since they both have 2's in there, all right, I can cancel those because that looks like a big 1, right? So our answer will be just 9/4, which is what I have. Okay, I'm going to just do the same thing with f. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15m. 3 times negative 12 is negative 36. And that equals 6m. Okay, I'm going to move the 15m over, so it'll become positive. It was negative, so 6m times plus 15m is 21m. Right? And then from there, 21m, we still have it equal to negative 36. Again, notice I can flip stuff like that once I have it simplified. To get m by itself, we're going to get negative 36 over 21. And let's see. Let's go ahead and see what you think. Well, on the bottom, we know it's 7 times 3. So on the top, we know we have to have a 3, so we'll have 12 times 3 is 36. So I'll have that negative there. There's my big 1. So my answer is negative 12 sevenths. All right. Excuse me. On 5a, all right, I'm going to show you the both ways. So we could do it just the old-fashioned way that we learned. And we can do 35 times 5 this way. 5 times 5 is 25, so I'm going to take the 5 and then I'm going to put the 2 up over in the tens column. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 2 is 17, so we'll get 175. All right. Or, and I'm only going to do this on the first one. On the other ones, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. But again, if you're not sure on that, remember I showed you we could do something like this, where we make a column. All right, and I will show you tomorrow, because we are going to do a 2-column one tomorrow, 2-digit number, I'm sorry. So remember I said we could do this, and we could put in 35, because 30 plus 5, so notice one's in the tenths, one's in the single digits, and then we have 5 here, and we're just going to multiply those two. So what is 30 times 5? Well, that's 150. And 5 times 5 is 25. So if you add those together, 150 plus 25, again, you'll still get 175. So either way would give you the same answer. Choose the way you think is best for you. Again, I've always been used to doing it this way here. So remember, I'm going to say 4 times 3 is 12. Right? So then I carry the 1 over. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So you should have 102. And then again up here, you kind of have to look here, having positive times a negative, which will give you a negative. All right. You could have even put in the negative by the 3, but then I noticed that some people think I'm subtracting. All right. So let's kind of go ahead and do the same thing here. So on this one here, we're going to have 24 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. So we have the 2 here. I'm going to carry the 3. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 17, 18, 19, which is 192. Look for the sign. A negative times a negative is always a positive. So our answer is 192. And on the last one, 15 times 8, or negative 8 in this case, but we'll get the negative here once we're done. 5 times 8 is 40, so we're going to put the 0 down. We're going to put the 4 in the tens column since it is 40. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then again, a positive times a negative is equal to a negative. So the answer will be negative 120. All right, we're going to distribute. Again, on this here, some people were saying, and then do I solve it? Well, we can't solve it because there's not an equation. You can't solve if there's no equation. All we can do is simplify by using the distributive property. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. Negative 3 times positive 5 is negative 15. I almost forgot the n, right? So our answer is negative 24n minus 15. Same thing here. I'm distributing through the parentheses. 7 times negative 3n is negative 21n. 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. Okay. On the next one here, all right, we have negative 7 times a negative 3, which is positive 21n. Negative 7 times negative 7 is a positive 49. We're done with that. What's left is the minus 6n. Now we're going to combine like terms. So we have 21n minus 6n, which is 15n. And all we have is just 49 by itself, so we're done with that one. Okay. On the next one here, so what we're going to do is 8n is by itself, so we don't have to worry about that one at the moment. But now on the other one, we have, and again, I want you to think we are taking the negative 6 and we're distributing that through the parentheses. Okay, take the sign in front of the number and you're taking that sign through the parentheses too. So on this one here, we have negative 6 times 2n, which will give us negative 12n. And then I have negative 6 times a negative 7. Negative times a negative is a positive. 6 times 7 is 42. And then we're going to, again, combine our like terms. 8n minus 12n is negative 4n. And then we still have our number plus 42. Okay. On 7 here, it asks us to write an expression. So the sum of 3 times a number. So the number, use whatever variable you want. All right. A lot of times you'll see that teachers, when it says a number, they always kind of use n. So I'm going to take my 3 times a number. All right. A lot of you would use x, I'm sure, but I'm going to use n. And the sum means plus, so I'm going to add that to 16. So I have 3n plus 16. All right. On this one here, remember is, it means equal, right? So we're going to take 5 times a number. So that's 5 times our number. Again, I'm going to call it n. Decreased means I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 4 is, I just told you, it means equals 22, which is what I have on 7b there. So I'm going to take 33 less than the product of 9 and a number. So what that's saying, it's less than the product. So I have to start with the product. So I have 9 times n, and then it's 33 less. So I'm going to subtract 33, and whatever number that is, it will equal 25. Okay? And our last two here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Again, you're going to have the formula tomorrow, like I said. So all we're going to do is let's go ahead and do 1,000. And again, I suggested you put them over 1 because we have a fraction for the r there, which is 1/9, and our time, which is going to be 18, and that's going to be over 1. In case you didn't know, interest means principal times rate times time, and we will be doing that a little in chapter 6, I believe. All right. So now once you got that, again, look at and see what you can reduce here since we have fractions on top and bottom, right? So I notice here that 18 and 9, right? 18 and 9, when I divide 18 by 9, I get 2. So on this one here, we can cross cancel is what we call it. So 18 divided by 9 is 2, and that would put a 1 back there. All right. So what do I have left on the bottom? I just have 1, so we don't even have to worry about that anymore. But on the top, we have 1,000 times 2. And again, that is 2,000. All right. And our last one here, okay, 24,000 over 1. Our rate is 1/8. And then our time is 3. So we're going to say 3 over 1. Now on this one here, a lot of you would say, well, 3 and 8, I can't reduce that, or I can't make a fraction, I can't divide, I can't get a number like you did on the first one. But if you notice here, I do have 8, and here I have 24. Now I'm showing you that because 24 is divisible by 8. 24 divided by 8 would give us 3. And now becomes 1, but I still have 3,000 there. I just didn't even show you the numbers. All right. So we have 3,000. On the bottom, we have all 1s now, so we can just take whatever we have on the top, which now we have 3,000 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. So our answer is 9,000. Again, tomorrow, everything will be similar. All right. So good luck on your test. I hope this helped you. And I'll see you, everybody. Good luck tomorrow.